Welcome back to Watching Games with Steven and Wyatt. That's the name, Wyatt. That's the name. So this is
I'm like in this game too. This is like one of the few where jamming makes sense.
It's I guess that's true. Fucking, I don't know. This is a special match because this is from our Super Series. Wyatt is playing on the left. Zeke is playing on the right. They're both playing Jun. Wyatt is not on Death Shadow. Zeke is. So Wyatt, I mean, you give some help. How's this going? Your opponent has a land and a Mishra's Bobble.
They Mishra bobbled and like cracked a fetch. I don't know what information I can give you that's not on the board right now.
Did he bobble himself?
Yes.
Yeah. So, cool. Zeke's got a cool deck, does cool stuff. In this matchup, I think I would rather be I think Skyclave and Death Shadow are just really huge threats that you have like a hard time answering if you get Solaris and back.
Yes, I agree. Once they hit 4 lands and they can go like Luris, play Death Shadow.
Yeah.
Like you really, all of a sudden you get behind, especially in a Jun style deck.
Sure, you're already in the tank here.
Yeah, I was trying to decide whether I needed to kill this turn 1 or I should Thought Caesar Inquisition.
Okay.
I think I Inquisition? Yeah,
Thought Caesar. There's not a real reason to kill it on turn 1, is there?
No, because it can't get pumped up to anything
4?
huge. So I think I take the Ren and 6 because it's a Planeswalker that's unbeatable. Like that's the gist of it. Like that's what Ren and 6 is.
Yeah. It produces a lot of recursive value. You'd gotten so blown out if you'd had like 3 Simian Spirit Guides there.
I
just take it straight to 4.
If you had 3 Simian Spirit Guides, that would have sucked.
Yeah, you would have been gotten. So Hexdrinker getting in for 1 and a Tarmogoyf. I don't know why it feels like Zeke is so far ahead of you, but just like
all of a sudden it does.
Yeah, like he's played 2 creatures.
The Goyf's like a 3/4 and a 2/1 on the battlefield.
Yeah. Yeah. So a follow up here from I was gonna say Wyatt, but I guess it's you.
Yeah, I mean, like, you can say whatever you want. I know what you mean.
From the player on the left.
I think I have Push Bolt here.
So that's clean answers to these things.
Yeah. I think I was trying to get Zeke to pump his Hexdrinker, but I believe he forgot that it was only as a sorcery for level up. Yeah. And then I have to, yeah.
So everyone's thinking about what's going to happen here. There goes that. There goes a push. So this is nice.
Yeah, I like cleanly answered the board. He no longer has a threat in hand that I know, but he has a Death Shadow that I do still know about, I guess.
Yeah.
So he can fetch Shock it and play right now. I think he fetch Shocks, puts Luris in his hand.
Okay, that's actually pretty good too.
Yeah. Because I was hoping he fetch Shock, play Death Shadow, because then I play Liliana minus. Then next turn he gets Luris, and I start making him discard.
Yeah.
But this route plays really well around a Liliana.
Like supernaturally well around a Liliana. I don't trust that anymore.
I still think I play Liliana plus it, and like it's not great.
I just feel like Zeke's a cheater because how the hell did he know to do this? Take a turn off with no creatures to go get yours.
Like you lose all your board presence and like
That's a very, very good play. I don't really think Zeke cheated. I don't know how he would have, but. So
I think I pitch a Skoos here. I'm just trying to answer his threats.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember these games. Yeah. I remember these games like card for card.
Yeah, you do. It seemed like you dwelled on these a little bit. So Skoos and Death Shadow out of Zeke.
So the reason I pitched the Skoos here is because even if I play it next turn, I have 1 green mana. I guess I have a fetch in hand.
Sure.
But I can't eat whatever he's going to lure us back anyways.
Got it.
He just chose to do Bobble.
Yeah.
So I get to answer the Luris, and then after this, I'm just gonna try to tell everybody this game now off memory. I think he plays like a Hexdrinker or something after this, but I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure I saw the Hexdrinker in his hand. So and you've played a tapped blood something or other, so that means that the card in your hand is still that wooded Foot's Heaths.
I wanted the option for 5 mana, so in case I draw Raging Ravine, but it doesn't actually matter.
No.
Once you hit 4, Jun kind of doesn't care.
I mean, you have a Liliana. Things aren't terrible.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now he has a Hexdrinker.
And as much as he did get to go up a card on the Luris, but you did answer it like much better than you possibly could have. Like that
I have a Planeswalker threat.
Yeah.
That was able to kill the Luris, and I think I get to kill this Hexdrinker right here.
Yeah, because you have to just take it to 0.
Because he leveled it up twice, I think.
All right, so you got a mystery card in hand.
So the biggest problem with this is I think I draw 3 lands for the next 3 turns.
Really?
I think Zeke only draws like removal spells, but like there's still spells.
Yeah, a few key turns. All right, I can see a bolt in his hand. He has white bordered bolts, and I considered like Bringing him nicer ones?
So the biggest problem with game 1
Okay.
was I think he drew 40 cards.
Oh.
Nurturing Peatland and Ren 6.
Yeah.
And when I say that, I'm not lying. I think it was actually like 40 cards.
It's not an exaggeration of a joke. It was 40 cards.
There's a solid like 10 turns of him looping this Nurturing Peatland.
Really?
Yeah.
That's very, very good.
Yeah.
All right, so 2 lands out of the library for you. What did you draw?
I think another land. I'm pretty sure another land.
Well, you're not playing anything, so probably that. You're not answering the Lurrus. You're not playing anything. Or not the Lurrus, the...
Ren 6.
I think Ren and 6 and Lurrus are kind of like what these games are fought over. Like, whoever can stick a Ren and 6 is probably
I think the
gonna win the game.
Planeswalkers... Like, I think Liliana also competes with the Ren and 6 to some degree.
Sure.
I drew a bolt and had a land in hand. It's lame.
Yeah. Dumb. It also sucks that like you can bolt Lurrus or what's his name? Ren and 6. You can bolt down to 1.
Yeah.
All right. So I mean,
Land
this
and
is just gonna keep happening for a while, huh?
Yeah, it's gonna be it's a pretty slow game.
Except Zeke's drawing twice as many cards as you.
Yes.
It's good. Do you run? You have to run Ren and 6s as well.
I do. It's strange.
Just making sure. Oh, there's that mountain. All right.
I think I actively draw 10 lands here. Like,
Okay.
I think by the end of this game, I have 10 lands on the battlefield.
Sure. Zeke hasn't drawn another creature. His opening hand was so full of threats, and he really just hasn't had a follow-up to it.
Like, everything kind of lined up where I was able to answer it, and here I get a Bloodbraid Elf.
That's a pretty good one, yeah.
Yeah. K command. This was the hardest K command in the world for me.
Why was that?
I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to get the Scoos back, but I didn't know what I wanted to do with other mode.
Okay.
I had the option to shoot Ren and 6, discard a card. Ren and 6 doesn't die.
Yeah.
But this Bloodbraid probably was going to die, so like...
Sure. That is kind of tough.
Yeah, and I was like, well, he has all these removal spells, and there's nothing I can do.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so you're exiling the Lurrus. Does he have ways to get the Lurrus back? I'm sure there's like K commands or something in the
There's
deck.
maybe a K command or an
Yeah,
Unearth would be
sure.
my top 2 guesses.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure, but I was just like, there's no reason to let him have
Mhm.
that kind of value.
Man.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was,
And so he cleaned up the Scoos too.
Yeah.
Like you had a 3-for-1 that he just immediately cleaned up.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, I guess he did draw a lot more cards than you for
Yes.
2 turns in a row, huh? All
I
right.
get this Liliana going, which is nice, but like Ren and 6 and Nurturing Peatland just kind of are very good together.
Yeah, it doesn't really hurt him all that much.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess at any point your best draw is always Bloodbraid Elf.
Yes.
Just, yeah.
I think in this game specifically, I get to go Season Pyromancer, draw 2 cards, play the 2 cards, play another Season Pyromancer, draw 2 cards.
Okay.
And that was just like, I think I drew more lands. It was just like a sad draw.
Oh. Season Pyromancer is also very, very good.
Yeah, this game was rough.
Tried not to sack his land. Yeah. All right,
Skyclave.
Scourge the Skyclave. It's a 2-mana 10/10.
Yeah. I think I have Liliana on the board, so like it's not gonna survive a turn, but
It
like
is, but still, that's so good. I think that I'm like very,
blown
very.
away with Scourge.
I think Scourge is the next Tarmogoyf, where like
I think you run I think there's been a bunch of Jund lists that just are running Scourge and Tarmogoyf in the same deck.
Yeah.
And I think you just get to run basically like 8 Tarmogoyfs.
well, yeah, it's like you don't have to run a Death
Also
Shadow
just immediately
deck.
draw a Fatal Push.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
pretty
awesome.
good. That's pretty good there. You don't have to run a Death Shadow deck where you're actively like reducing your life total because incidentally players' life totals just decrease.
Yeah.
You don't have to do any crazy work to make it go. It's a 10/10 a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like Goyf is much better on turn 2.
Yeah,
Whereas Skyclave, I think on like any turn but that is much better.
I agree. Scoif, I mean, yeah. You are, I mean, that's right. I don't know what to say, but.
Like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So you would have been dead to that
Battle
if
Rage.
you didn't have the Liliana that you discard it, yeah.
I noticed.
Interesting choice to not make him sack the boy.
Didn't I? Liliana was at 1.
Oh, because he bolted
it off of Ren.
Wow.
To put it to 1.
That's also a very heads up line.
Yeah.
Here comes that. Oh, attacking you, or the Liliana. Nothing. He did draw 10 cards off this Peatland.
Yeah, I wasn't lying to you. He's
cards.
drawn so many. He drew
Yeah.
so many cards off this freaking Peatland.
So he's getting close to just killing you with his Death Shadow.
Yes, very close.
It's kind of funny because these decks that you jockey for position, but the non-Death Shadow builds don't have the. Oh, that's a really good draw.
You just terminate off
Yeah.
the time. I think I just like drew Fatal Push into Terminate for both these things that are like gonna kill me in like one attack.
Yeah. You don't have the massive threats that are going to end the game in one swing.
No.
I mean,
I'm really trying to 1-for-1 you, but like trying to 1-for-1 a deck that's like up like 12 cards. It's so
well,
hard.
he needs one turn.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
I guess he is at 4 again, so like there is some trade-off there. What'd you pick up?
Yeah, I'm like trying to remember. We got so far into this game that like.
So these Goif dice, I don't know if they're a good idea or not. I think if you ever have the wrong data, holy God, you are just pulling these things off the top. I think if you ever have the wrong number on your Goif dice, someone can call a judge on you for misrepresenting game states.
Yeah, usually I don't use Goif dice.
Yeah.
Usually I just like whenever I attack, I just count it.
Yeah, they're nice. I think it's nice and like your opponent can see and it's kind, but I think that in sweaty tournaments, someone's probably going to call a judge on you.
It could happen.
I could be wrong. Leave a comment.
Leave a comment.
Verbally abuse me if I am incorrect in the comments, please.
Here's the Season Pyro chain.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's that. All right. Picking these two up. What do you get here? Goif, that's pretty great. He does have a Ren 6 on 7, though.
Yeah.
That's tough.
He doesn't have any lands in hand right now. I think he might have one, but... And then there's another Season Pyro. You'd think this turn's amazing, right?
Yeah. I would think that this was a real good turn, but... So what is Zeke thinking about here?
I think he's a removal spell for my Goif.
He looks like he's got a bolt and something else in the hand, but yeah.
And I get to Thoughtseize.
Jeez. What a turn.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
All right, so Zeke takes a draw.
Gonna push the Goif.
Before that Thoughtseize. Bolt that. Okay. And then Skyclave. Okay. So, I mean, again, that's an exchange that seems to favor you. You tried to draw some more cards.
I was excited about it. In Jund, if you had to draw 4 cards with no downside, you probably won the game.
Yeah.
That just wasn't the case in this situation.
Yeah. All right. Zeke is going to bobble. I like the bobble's pretty good here. I mean, I know it's not as good as just like not having it in your deck, but it's still... All right, so here comes... Oh, he also has... So he ultimate is Ren 6. Mm-hmm. You are dead pretty fast to this, right? He's just going to bolt you if he draws enough lands.
He has a Pluto Delta in hand, so he gets 1 bolt, but he needs to have 4.
Yeah.
No, I forgot to lose 2 life. It's on my pad, but I forgot to take it down on the board.
Boy.
Yeah. So the video is misrepresented, but...
Okay, so Wyatt's actually at 8 here, but here comes a Croxa. And, you fixed it. It lasted for like 2 seconds. Can he unearth now? It doesn't look like so.
Yeah, it needs double red.
Yep. Croxa is a really fast closing threat also. Yeah. So you have probably 2 turns left. He can bolt you on flashback.
Yeah, so I get to make 2 1/1s here.
Oh, you can get him to 1 on your next turn.
Yeah, I was like, all right, Ren 6 or bolt or K command, and I think it was just like a land. And I was just like sad. Because if it was spell, I don't die to the Croxa too, but it was Raging Ravine. And I was just like, well, yeah.
All right. Well, here comes. I mean, let's see if he sees a line. Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah.
All right. So that'll kill you. And then I'm leaving sideboarding in so we can talk about that for a second.
Why?
What?
Okay.
Because we have
I said
Wyatt,
why, but like
we have Wyatt Harris in house. We're gonna figure out how he sideboarded. You're gonna hear me touch all these pieces of paper. Here's Zeke's. You want to tell me what Zeke sideboarded? If you had to guess, we have deck lists. Deck lists are gonna go below this, and you guys won't have to ask and then be disappointed when I say no.
So, my guess would be
Wyatt didn't make a fucking deck list for this event. Is what I've just discovered about this.
K command. Zeke would probably bring in K command. I could see the Assassin's Trophy, and I could see the EE.
I like Veil of Summer because you have Thoughtseize.
I didn't read Veils, yes. I would definitely bring in the Veils.
Sure.
So I bring in those 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.
No thoughts? No Nile spell bombs or anything like that? I guess you don't have a Luris. Who cares?
No, yeah, I don't have Luris. It's like you're not going to shrink my Goif. Like, your graveyard's usually bigger than mine. Yeah.
Yep.
Exciting.
What did you bring in for him?
I'm pretty sure I brought in 2 Nile spell bombs, an Ashiok. I think that was it.
So you want to fight his graveyard because he can.
Lurrus is huge.
Lurrus is so
if you get to
good.
buy back with Lurrus, it's huge.
Do you remember when we watched Tim and Jake play with, it was Jund and Death Shadow. Very similar matchup. It was Grixis and Jund. But before Lurrus had gotten Companion errated.
Oh, it was original Companion.
And,
Really?
yeah, and somehow they both went 10 turns without drawing an answer to other person's Lurrus. And it was just like the most massive recursive stupidity I've ever seen in my life. It was really, really cool. I think Jake kept drawing Death Shadows and recurring them, and Tim kept drawing removal, but he always had to kill the Death Shadow because he would die to it. And so it was just this wild format where Lurrus, if like a Resolve Lurrus is the best thing you can possibly have.
Old Companion rule is insane.
It was nuts.
It's so good, and Lurrus was already so good, and like there's no downsides to Old Companion rule.
I actually kind of liked it, if I'm honest.
Yeah, like, it was ridiculous.
I'm kind of sad that it warped every format to only. I was talking to there's a guy who came in who was like, he was a casual who's like kind of starting to come sweaty, and we started talking about Lurrus, and Lurrus is one of the only 2 cards that are banned in Vintage for their power level.
Yes.
Like everything else that's banned in Vintage is banned because it either has anti or requires physical dexterity, and Lurrus and Zerda are the only 2 that are banned because of how good they are. It is absolutely wild. I think they could probably get unbanned now, you think?
Ooh, with new Companion rule?
They got banned before Companion Rule got updated.
Maybe Lurrus.
You think Zerda is still too crazy?
I think Zerda is too easy in your hand. Because
you're running mana
You're running
already.
it in big mana decks
Yeah.
anyway.
Josie, I probably shouldn't say everyone's name. There's someone who comes to our store, whose name I've already said. She plays a Zerda commander deck. And it seems just like out the door busted. Just like unbelievably.
Zerda as a companion? Zerda as your
Zerda
commander?
is a commander.
Okay.
I think she could probably run it as a companion as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Every permanent has to have an activated ability, right?
Yeah.
Every non-land permanent? Or is it just
I think
every
lands technically have activated abilities too.
Yeah, I guess technically.
But you couldn't run Urborg, and so I don't know if that technicality falls.
Yeah.
I don't know what the card says, but I don't think it affects her too much.
Nonetheless.
Yeah.
Companions were really good.
Yeah.
They're still really good.
So I was
Like,
yeah.
Lurrus is kind of just good. Like, there are Jund lists that are just running Lurrus.
I think you just put Lurrus's in your deck.
Yeah, like...
Thoughtseize out of white. Here, do you have Lurrus's in this deck?
No, this is the Bloodbraid Elf build.
I could see one in a Bloodbraid Elf build.
Yeah, like, Jund builds are all over the place right now.
I know. I think you can do... Jund's is just always classically a pile of good cards. Do whatever the hell. It doesn't really matter.
It's just the best 60 cards you own in your collection.
Yeah.
Just choose the ones you want.
Just sort them by price, high to low on TCG player. Put them in the deck.
Yeah, like...
So you took a Goyf there. He had a Death Shadow, but I mean, Death Shadow's not going to be a threat for at
I
least.
kind of wish I
couple
took out my
turns.
hand disruption.
So you just always answer the board?
Yeah, I think you treat it like the Jund Mirror match,
Yeah.
where you take out all 6 hand disruption spells, and you just bring in things that affect the board.
I think you're probably right. I was playing Legacy Jund at one point, and my opponent told me I should take out all of my hand disruption. And I said, I don't know if that's right. And then I him to Turok him just into oblivion. But I still think he's right.
There are definitely some games, like even in the mirror matches, where you're just like, all right, I have 4 Thoughtseizes, or some mix of IOK and Thoughtseize, and they'll have no cards in hand, and neither will you, and you're just top decking. It's like, okay, this is perfect.
Yeah.
But then there are other games where they'll just like stick a permanent, and the game ends.
Yep. That's kind of tough.
So yeah, like.
Yeah, he was salty about it.
Who?
The dude. So the dude was like a Jund master, and he was
Legacy.
technically right. I should have taken out my hand to Turox, but I did just like him and
Jund hasn't been in Legacy for like 2 years.
Bro, I had
This
just
is so
fond
long
memories. I
ago.
had good memories of this deck. I had actual Chains of Mephistopheles in my sideboard.
One of?
2.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Were there only 2 at the time?
Yeah, they were so good. You were bad against Shardless, and you needed something that would like keep them from.
They were also bad against Miracles. Like,
you were fair against Miracles.
I guess you had Abrupt Decays.
Yeah, if you could, Abrupt Decay was good, and if you could stick a Dark Confidant, you could probably recover the game. We're talking about the game that's currently happening, not one that
we're just
happened
all
3
on
years
Legacy
ago
right
in a
now.
format in a deck that no longer exists. All right.
There's a Skyclave. It's a 2/2.
So Zeke is cashing in his... Oh, everyone just got all these spells. Look at these trades you guys are making.
I didn't want to cast it, so I have a Season
He was stuck
Pyro.
on 2 lands.
I have a Season Pyro in hand,
Okay.
and I was like, do I want to get max value for this and get a kill
Mm-hmm.
to give him a 3rd land, or do I just discard this, make a 1/1, and then hope to draw 2 good cards? But I drew a land, and I was like, all right, that was fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Given Zeke's 3rd land, what I think you like Scourge of Skyclaves was a 2/2.
Yeah, right. There's
But like it's going to become a 4/4 in the next turn, which means it's out of bolt range. And so like maybe you just if you want to cast that Seasoned Pyromancer on curve, you're going to have to discard it. I don't think you had a better choice there.
It was a very weird line.
Yeah, I think you made the right decision. I just think it sucks and everyone's stupid. I don't know.
I also just naturally drew 2 swamps in this matchup, which sucks.
Yeah, that's a little... So I've played a couple Jund lists, and I always have a hard time getting green mana for my scavenging uses.
Yeah. Your most important color is black.
Yeah.
Your second most important color is green.
Mm-hmm.
And then red you fetch once and you never want to draw it again.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, so here's a Bloodbraid Elf into a Maelstrom Pulse. Oh, God.
Look at a Bloodbraid. So on this turn, I had the option to play a Scavenging Ooze instead of a Bloodbraid.
Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, like, if I hit the thing, it sucks, but, like, I don't really have a choice. And I don't know what I was playing around here. I think I don't attack.
You're thinking really hard, yeah. So, I don't know what we could have.
I was trying to decide whether I wanted to put him Death Shadow range. To let him
That's actually pretty fair, because you do know you have one in hand. So in Old Standard, back when... I'm going to just keep bringing up Jund decks from formats that aren't this one. You would never Bloodbraid into an empty board.
Yeah,
because it was specifically Bloodbraid into Maelstrom Pulse was what you would always do, and you never want to do on an empty board.
It's always the worst. At least if you hit Bolt or like K Command, they do something else.
Yeah.
Whereas like Push and Maelstrom Pulse, even Assassin's Trophy, I can like probably take him off like
a color.
Yeah. But that's just not what happened.
No.
Here's my thoughts.
So now you're playing Bull Shock Berserker.
Yeah.
All right. So what is you? Oh man.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't have an answer to this Luris, which is terrible.
Yeah, this is a pretty good because you obviously don't take the Death Shadow because it just makes him pay 1 black mana. Oh, he forgot to draw from his bobble.
Yeah.
And he draws, and now your life is just much harder.
Yeah. I was gonna take the Death Shadow. Now I think I take the Scourge, and then I think I take the Scourge. Thought I took the Push, and then immediately cast a Goyf.
Oh.
Yeah, like in my mind was like I should take the Push, and I just didn't take the Push.
So Zeke accepts the trade here.
I also wasn't ready for that. That threw a wrench in my plan super hard.
Yeah.
And I immediately just played this, and I'm like, wait, I thought you had. Yeah.
Wait. All right.
Yeah.
So Zeke's up to 11. That Death Shadow's a 2/2, and he just has a. Wow.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I think I still have Scoos in hand that just gets to do nothing this whole game.
Yeah.
It like feels so bad.
Maybe Zeke, I think, is an actual master. Because the only way you throw that Luris away there is if you know your opponent has a Scoos. That's
right.
Like, how good is he? How is this possible? There's no way.
Like, here's the Scoos that was in my hand that I didn't cast last turn.
Of course. Good thing I don't have a Luris. I don't need it. Yeah. All right, so he's got a 2/2, and you've got the same.
The turn after this gets funky. We'll talk about it when we get there.
Really?
Yeah.
I saw some funky things in this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a couple things where I had to like stop a game and be like,
no, not funky.
Oh.
Funky. There's an N in there.
Funky, yeah, I saw it too. Where it just like it was people didn't really know how their cards worked and they were trying to rules lawyer them. They weren't rules lawyering. They were trying to like play. It was weird.
Ooh.
It was very weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's a Ren 6. Poor Zeke didn't realize that I didn't have any green mana up.
Oh, so he's thinking so hard.
He like asked me it's like Scoos Exiles things. I was like, yes, it does. And I was like, yeah, and I don't have green mana, so it was just really awkward. And I was just like, yep, all right.
All right.
I think I double block this.
Yeah. Assuming he doesn't have something.
Yeah.
I mean, if he has anything, you're gonna lose both your creatures. I'm just telling you, bro.
I had to accept it. If he had Battle Rage, the game was over anyway.
If he has a Street Wraith, you're kind of up the creek.
So this turn's rough. I drew a green spell. I can't remember what it is. I play it, so we'll see in a sec. It's a Goyf. But I have the option to not do that and instead eat a creature out of the graveyard to then gain a life to then make the Skyclave a 3/3, so that my Scoos can then block and trade with it.
Okay.
And I chose to play the Goyf. And it just happened to be the wrong choice.
And so the Goyf is not a 4/5?
It is, but it's because they're not spellbound on the board.
Oh, okay.
So if I just use the Scoos instead to eat one thing.
But he doesn't land. Oh, you're gonna look right now.
Yeah.
He's got to have land, creature, instant, sorcery, artifact.
Yeah, and Planeswalker, I'm pretty sure.
So Goyf is a 6/7 just from his graveyard.
Yeah. And then he becomes a 3/4 off of my graveyard. I think he exiles his own graveyard.
This Zeke guy has got what it takes, is what I'll tell you. That's a pretty good play too. I mean, I guess if you read the entire card, you know you could do that, but like, how would you?
Yeah, like I had my option to leave up green mana because like I was
That was
choosing green.
the
It
only
was,
thing
like,
that really mattered.
Yeah. It was just like such a huge decision.
And so if he doesn't have a way to, I guess he'd have to cause you life loss this turn, which like
would be rough.
yeah.
Like he just attacks here, and I think I double block, and he has Teamer Battle Rage. It's a 4/4.
Does he really?
No, I know he has Teamer Battle
Oh
Rage.
yeah, you do. You're right. Yeah. And so if you take, well, I mean, he's still Teamer Battle Rages if you make the Scavenging as a 3/3.
Yeah. But then I get this. But it doesn't get trample.
Oh.
Because he's only a 3/3. It only has 3 power.
That's kind of
That
huge.
was the huge difference. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I see how. And now you're dealing with an 8/8.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I blood braided into like a Ren 6, which is neat, but
Yeah.
I didn't draw a fetch land this game. I don't think. So my Ren 6 like just doesn't do anything.
That is unfortunate.
And I use my green mana to cast a Bloodbraid Elf, so like Scooz is just perpetually a 2/2.
Sure.
Like, I think attack with everything here.
I mean,
and hope he doesn't draw Teamer Battle Rage. No, I don't. Okay.
It's you're leaving the Bloodbraid Black to block.
Yeah.
Your foiled Chinese Bloodbraids are
Yeah.
warped, bro.
They're not even like that bad, but
Yeah.
they're like annoying.
So here comes this. It's an 8/8. If he has like a bolt, you're dead for a
If he has
number of
anything,
reasons.
like
yeah.
I'm dead, yeah. I'm just like, yeah, and there's the Teamer Battle
And
Rage.
there's a team up. That's like. So I just like to talk about how much numbers. Oh, that's a lot. This video's gonna end. Thanks for watching. See you next game.